January 19th, 2025. Let's get started. First thing I want to talk about today was the Americanization of sports. Specifically, by this, what I'm referring to is Premier League football. For those fucking nerds unfamiliar, Premier League is the primary soccer league in the UK, and it's probably the most popular, domestic soccer competition in the world, and maybe the most popular sports league in the world, just if you look at it purely from the number of people who follow it, not from a revenue POV. But basically, what's happening with the Premier League now is a bunch of American billionaires have decided that these Premier League clubs are excellent investment vehicles. And so more and more American money has been flooding into the Prem. Most notably with Todd Boehly and Chelsea, where he acquired it once Roman Abramovich was removed due to sanctions on Russia. Other instances of Premier League clubs owned by American money is like Fulham, owned by Shad Khan, who also owns the Jaguars. Arsenal, owned by Stan Kroenke, who also owns the Nuggets and LA Rams. And Brighton has an American owner, if I remember correctly. And then Manchester United is the most notable one. It's owned by the Glazers, who own the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. And basically, with the influx of this American money, has come with it the influx of American practices. So, for example, Manchester United used to be a profitable club. It was self-sufficient, could run well year in, year out. But what the Glazers did during their takeover was they saddled the club with a ton of debt. And so because of that debt, their ability to buy players and run a sustainable financial model has been sort of impacted. So that's one aspect of American owners using, certain financial tricks to load up English clubs that they bought with their debts. Another change that's coming is, Americans fully interested in capitalism, trying to milk as much money as possible from their investments. But the thing is, these soccer clubs in the UK aren't investments. They're literally cultural landmarks, People build their weekends and families around going out to the pub before the game, taking their kids to the match, and then going out to the pub after the match. It's a full-on culture. They have songs about it. They have heroes. These rivalries bleed into every day of their lives. And so with Americans coming in, foreign influences coming in, it's the cost of going to these games for regular English fans, from what I understand, is rising. And so they're sort of pricing out everything that makes the culture of these sports great. They're pricing out the locals who know the songs, who know the customs, who know the traditions, and who care the most. And instead, they're trying to market these tickets to tourists like myself who can pay more. And in the process, the argument is that they're ruining what made the Premier League so great. And I think that's just sad. It's America is what it is, most prosperous country in the world, land of opportunity. But it's why? Why do we feel the need to go and just fuck up things in other countries that are already great? Second thing is I want to talk about is acquaintances, and everyone knows what an acquaintance is. It's someone you mildly like. They're definitely not your friend, but you're not opposed to them. And I guess even within acquaintances, there's a wide range of acquaintances. There's at the top of it an acquaintance who's close to becoming a friend. At the bottom of it, it's a guy that you met once or twice, that you nod at awkwardly every time you see him. But the thing is, it's I ask myself, for those who are at the bottom of the range, what even is the point of having an acquaintance? Is it from a professional sense, in the sense that, okay, you nod at this guy all the time, and that gives you enough rapport with him to ask for a referral to a job or to network with him when need be? Is that the point of keeping around an acquaintance like that? I'm not sure. Because in my mind, acquaintances are just wastes of brain space. It's someone who you just have to think about how to interact with. You can't be free with them because they're not your friend, but you can't ignore them either because you know who they are, and it's just weird to ignore someone. So I think it's just a really weird concept, and I wish it was more binary. And I know this sounds stupid and like I'm a crack, but acquaintances just unpleasant to deal with. Third thing I want to talk about is polygamy. Growing up, I was told always that Mormons are polygamous. I just learned today that it's only a certain sect of Mormonism that is polygamous. And that sort of blew my mind. But it got me thinking about, the broader historical roots of polygamy. And I feel like until the 1700s, polygamy was completely normal. Like it's normal in Indian culture where kings had multiple wives. It was normal in like Mongol culture where constant forcible wives. Um, it's normal, not normal, but I don't think Islam prohibits it. And then when I went to Kenya, I noticed that it still happens day to day in Kenya, where a guy in a village will have multiple wives, um, each with their own children, each who take care of their own children. The point I'm trying to make is that polygamy was pretty normalized until like early 1800s, and it's like, at what point did that change? And why did that change? Like, I don't know why that changed, but I'm very curious to investigate further, and maybe I'll make another capsule about it. But thinking about it, it's like, okay, we went from polygamy is okay to polygamy is bad, and then we went to the institution of marriage. But even marriage didn't start off as this romantic endeavor when it first was created, It started out as a business relationship. You married off a daughter and a son for two families who wanted to create an alliance with each other. And even that only started to change in Western society in 1930s or 40s after like Wuthering Heights came out. But in Eastern societies, it's only starting to change now. Like until recently, even in India, it was like, okay, you married within the same caste with family who had good money or the best amount of money that you could get at your financial status. And it was just for convenience, it was a financial transaction. But even India, that's changing now. And it's like, yeah, it's just sort of crazy to think about that marriage as an institution. I know it as a romantic institution, but it's crazy to think about that it wasn't always like that.